I'm going to give you 10 minutes about the subject very important called thinking out of the box. And I'm going to give you some examples of how difficult it is when you're starting a home-based business to think out of the box. Because in your home you've got a laptop and you've got access to the internet, and most of your input's going to come from that laptop and that internet. And if you're in a California town with a 25% unemployment, there's an awful lot of people in that town getting the same input that you're getting. So it's not easy to think out of the box to create your own business, and I'm going to give you some first quick ideas. Now let me show you how your mind works to keep you from thinking in the box. First, I want to give you my favorite quote from my favorite college professor at the Harvard Business School, Ted Levitt, who's passed on but was a great writer, and if you read any of Ted's material on marketing myopia, you'll love it. He used to say, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And that's kind of an important message, because you need a focus and you need a goal. Otherwise, you really don't want to spend a lot of time examining alternatives that you are not focused on hitting a specific direction. Of course, my other favorite philosopher used to be a catcher for the New York Yankees, and that was Yogi Berra. And his quote was, if you see a fork in the road, take it. Now, I got you thinking out of the box. Let me give you what they call the 9-dot test. Every MBA program in the country, at some time or other, gives its students this little test of 9 dots. Hopefully you can see them. They're 9 equally spaced dots on a piece of paper. And the answer is you've got to draw a single line without lifting your pencil from the paper that connects all 9 dots without going back over any of the lines. And so I'm going to show you what you typically do just to get a feel. Is your mind sees this box. It's the outline of those 9 dots. It sees that box, and it doesn't think outside the box, and it forces you to think in the box. Now I'm going to show you the solution to the 9 dots and how you do it. See, when you do it that way, you can connect all the dots to the paper. But the secret is your first line has to go outside the box. And you'll see you won't have done that in your cycle. Second idea I want to give you is what I call picking your partner or your first mate, someone who's going to work with you. And in my very first book in 1970s, I wrote about it on page 117. It's called The First Mate. And picking your partner or the number 2 person to work with you. And you got to put a little 4-quadrant matrix together called bright and stupid, energetic and lazy. And you got to pick one of those 4 quadrants as the personality trait most likely for your first mate, the one that works with you to succeed. Now, your natural instinct is not to pick someone who's lazy and stupid, so we won't waste time on the first box. And the second box we won't waste too much time on either, because that's somebody who's stupid and energetic, and there are other jobs, government is an example, that they can work in and we don't have to worry about. Now I'm going to tell you the third choice, and the one you're most likely to pick is actually worse than the first 2 choices, which are lazy and stupid and energetic and stupid. And the third choice is the one you like. It's called bright and energetic. And you see, the reason that that's the worst of all the choices, by the way, the 4th choice, bright and lazy, is the best choice. Watch. You are bright and energetic, and if you have 2 captains of a ship, 2 people leading an orchestra, 2 pitchers at the same time on a pitching mound, you're going to have trouble. And that's the thing that has killed many companies, that the 2 partners who are both friends from a long time start the company together, and they don't have complementary skills. Look at Steve Wozniak and Jobs. They were quite opposite people. And if you can get yourself a partner who has the skill of saying no when you say yes, an entrepreneur gets up in the morning and says yes. A banker gets up in the morning and says no. A venture capitalist gets up in the morning and says maybe. What you want is someone who is a thinker who says no. And that's a good compliment you, and it's kind of opposite. See, you like people who are bright and energetic, so you're going to give that person a natural inclination to work with you as your first mate. So look at the possibility of hiring or working with or making a partner out of someone who has opposite skills of you. And number three, I gave you some ideas going to bankruptcy court looking for a deal flow. Let me give you one of the really neat ideas, and that involves China or out of the country opportunities. So many of us look in our immediate backyard for business opportunities, and there are thousands of people looking in the same arena. In 2002, I traveled to China, and I wrote this little book called the China Picture Book. And it's fun, and it's free on my website. Everything I've given you so far is free, and you'll enjoy it. You can download it. And when I went to China, I was so surprised at what they're doing. It's the only country outside of America that does everything just opposite of us. Think about traveling to a foreign country to bring home a business idea. Travel to China, go to the Guangzhou Toy Fair, walk the Guangzhou Toy Fair. It's typically a lot better than going to the San Francisco or the Kansas City or the Manhattan trade show, because you've got everybody and his brother there as a competitor. Not that many in the other countries. India, we have chapters in India, Greece, Dubai, any other place you go, South America, Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, you're going to have a better opportunity to find things you can bring back to the United States that can help you start a business. I've never really liked or seen a great success of these multi-level marketing ideas when someone gives you a powder that you drink the powder and you live forever. It's a noni juice, or it's a water purifier, and it's really sold in a multi-level way. You sell it to your friend, he sells it to his friend, not that they don't work 10% of the time. But I'll tell you, if you go look overseas, you're going to find much better sequence of business opportunities. And the last good idea I want to give you is on my website, and again, it's free. We have about 300 one-hour talks that have been given by famous CEOs to CEO Club members at lunches, and they're free, and you can click on it, and you can spend an hour, and that's often a very productive hour listening to some of those talks. Now, your instinct is to go to the big name talks and enjoy Ted Turner's version of humor and content. It's terrific talk. You'll love it. And you're always drift to that. But on that website with those tapes, there are little narrow, skinny topics about negotiating, selling from direct mail, selling from ads, Joe Sugarman stuff. There's a whole range of very skinny, narrow topics that it would take you years to write a book and study a book and go to a seminar to learn. And they're all free on that website. So I encourage you to take a look at it and enjoy it. Now, I hope I got you thinking out of the box, and you can take those 9 dots and draw your first line dramatically lower, then your second line over, and your third line will cross all the dots in one fell swoop. There's only one solution to that 9-dot puzzle, and that's why we in America have always talked about thinking out of the box. Good luck in your home-based business.